So, hello again. It's our third meeting talking about very sacred, very important things beyond material. But my goal, my main, not the only goal, but my main goal is for this knowledge that I'm sharing is to become extremely practical for you so that this esoteric knowledge, non-material knowledge can improve your material life right today on the spot. It's not given this knowledge I'm not sharing with the idea of you using it in some kind of bright future when you will be already away from all your material worries and you will just meditating and thinking of God more than ever. Absolutely not. I want you to start using, applying, relying maybe on this knowledge exactly where you are today, in the activities that you are today, in the social status that you are today, at the age that you are today, with your interests that you have today. Because this knowledge, yes, it's about highest matter in our life, but it can and it should be applied instantly in your own doses, in your own pace, but instantly in your material life today. Why? And why? I will tell you the my conversation with my friend today morning. The war is over in Lebanon, thanks God, and everybody is moving back to their homes. So my friend, she was always, or she was also staying in somebody else's house. So today she was, she was telling me today morning that, Rada, like I'll be moving out like tomorrow, and the neighbors here. So she being a Muslim, she was staying in a Christian area, in a Christian building, let's say. And she said, the neighbors were extremely rude to us. They were so like, what else you can say, rude. They were causing us a lot of troubles, and like they were afraid that if, I don't know, the Muslims will be staying in the building, maybe they will bomb the building, and they were forbidding my brothers or my nephews to come, just for the boys not to be in the building, Muslim boys not to be in the building, because you don't know what they can carry, like all these stupid things. And so it was extremely unpleasant for me to hear that. What about her, to be in such a situation? And I was my habit to reflect after, like, I never leave any kind of conversation or incident or movie or book, just go without resultless from my life, because I understand if I heard something, then there is a message for me as well. And I was reflecting on those people who in such situation manifested themselves in such a way. War or any other extremely high crisis situations are the, especially when it's on on a bigger scale, not on your individual scale. When something happens in a building, on a street, in a district, in a city, in a country. So when such things happen, people become themselves. People become like, if any crisis situation is just a magnifier of who you really are. And I remember this from the telling of my teacher, who is from Ukraine. And when their war started in 2022, his city was also one of under high level bombing. So he lived, let's say, the hell of the war. He lived. And he was telling us how the neighbors, how the people in the area he knew for years, and they just show themselves from the most lowest levels of whatever a human could be. And in the same situation, drunkards who were constantly and intensively avoided by all the good community of the street or the building society, and who proved to be high-level humans with high values, principles, with high level of self-sacrifice, and who were drunkards and who were always blamed by all the normal people. And the same, the same in this situation, obviously not to this scale, but I saw people who were hosting, offering, welcoming other people in their houses. I saw people who were increasing the rent during the war when they could afford just to understand the situation and go with the human flow of making it, I mean, playing a role in making it easier for for the people. So I was reflecting on those neighbors who were being rude to my friend just because she is Muslim and she's like a potential danger to the entire building. Why were they? Like, I wanted to understand what was their motives, and their motives just was one. It was fear. They were afraid for their own lives, for their own property, and so on. And the fear comes when there is no knowledge. They were thinking that by avoiding some people be in their building, on their street, they will buy themselves life, or they will save their properties from being destroyed, and so on. Like, this is high level of ignorance. So knowledge decreases the fear. When the fear is less in our hearts, we are kinder. That's all. That's all that we have to be. That's the only purpose of all the spiritual knowledge, for us to be kinder. And for that, nobody has to smoke ayahuasca or to drink, I don't know, to take ayahuasca. Like, you don't need. All you have to do is decide in your heart, God, please make me be kinder. That is my prayer since 4 years. From 4 years, when I said that people, more than 4 years, probably 5, when I for myself decided people are my priority. People, relationships is my biggest value after God, but God is relationship in this life. And for that, I understood I don't have the qualities, I don't have the needed qualities to have good relationships. And I said, God, please make me kinder. Please help me be kinder so that I really can invest, I really can keep those people who are in my life and who are part of my happiness. And this could be neighbors, this could be my friends, this could be, of course, family, everyone. So that is all we need to become kinder. For that, living in a logical world, obviously you need proofs. What if I will be kind and I will lose? You need logical kind of justification. So kind of this is a part of the knowledge. Obviously, it's not everything, but this is something that I want you to apply in your life, to somehow relate to your life, and to decrease the level of your fear, so that you allow mind to play a smaller role in what matters. I mean, you understand what I mean, and you will allow the heart to be on the on the on the throne, sitting on the throne. My dears, you entered on the new link, right? The one I sent in the group.
Yes. Yeah.
This is why today we are continuing, and as I said, we spoke, as my husband joked just before me starting the class, the meeting. He said, "Yalla Rada, today you are nailing the coffin, the last nail in the coffin." And yes, it will be. And today we will talk about many interesting and maybe the most practical things from all this story. And I would like to start with talking about the formation of our subtle bodies. So, as we spoke in the previous in the previous in the previous meetings, we are the soul. And the soul is coming on earth in this material world. And because the soul is of a divine nature, spiritual nature, which is absolutely unmatchable to the material world, it needs a spacesuit, if you want. It needs a certain suit to land here. So this is the soul. This is the soul. And when the soul comes, you remember we spoke, what is the reason of the soul coming on earth? It's his secret desires that are different from God's desires. So it means this soul, I want to make it colorful. So this soul comes on earth having its own desires different from God's plan. I want to do what I want. I want to do something different from my nature. And this body of the personal desires of the soul, the desires that are different from the God's desires, it forms the body of false ego. The body of the false ego. So basically, this soul is covered in a shell of the false ego desires. Here I want to say that the soul has the power of 100,000, the energy, the power of 100,000 suns. Can you imagine each one of us watching, sitting here, being here, and everyone outside there who is a soul? It means everybody, absolutely everybody. We have the power that 100,000 suns have. Can you imagine the number? It sounds so big that like few will believe it. But Holy Scriptures never lie. It's just our limited knowledge and fantasy doesn't allow our mind to get there. So everyone sitting here has a power of 100,000 suns. And then most of you immediately you thought, Rada, what kind of 100,000 suns? If now, like, I wake up and I can hardly get out of the bed, or just for me to wake up, I need to, I don't know, smoke a cigarette or have a coffee, or like I don't know, by 4 p.m. I'm already so tired and I cannot go jog. Like, what kind of 100,000 suns, Rada? Like, I can barely manage my own rhythm and I don't have enough power to do my things. So why? Where is that power lost? Because something is stopping that power inside us from shining. So what is that stopping from shining? Why we are not our own nature? Because we want to be something different. The false ego has the energy of minus 100,000 suns. So basically, the false ego just blinds. It's just like a cloud, like a huge, powerful cloud to our power and to our happiness. False ego has many names, and one of the name in Sanskrit is the name Dyav. And if we will add the el suffix, then it will be dyavel, devil. That is what is the evil. The evil is inside. And again, the religion tells us this, that the evil, the devil is inside us. Where? Right there in our heart, the desires that made us being a cat. I want to talk as a parrot. Being a tiger, I want to swim like a fish. Being a monkey, like, what are my chances of being happy? Zero. Because a tiger will never swim like a fish. A parrot will never jump like the monkey. So I want to be like that parrot, but I cannot. And I'm just struggling and struggling and struggling to be someone who I am not. And eventually I am losing my own power. So who is the enemies of ourselves? Ourselves. Like my son said, like, mom, people don't need enemies because because they are their own enemies, biggest enemies. So like we don't need anyone else. I say, yes, you are right. So the false ego is the body of all our desires, and basically this is the cause of us being born again and again, time after time on earth. Because, my dears, good news or bad news, I don't know how you will take it, but the news is that all your desires will be satisfied. Whatever you have dreamt of, not even dreamt of, because dream of it's something big, whatever you have thought of or wanted will be satisfied. So is this a good news or not? I don't know, but make sure that it will be satisfied. But definitely the bad news comes. The bad news, here is the bad news, is that it's true that the desires will be satisfied, but since material world is not our homeland, it's not our motherland, we are in exile here, we are in prison here. God will satisfy our desires in such a way that we will not enjoy it. And we will say, oh my God, I was really thinking that a Range Rover will make me happy, but now I have it. But the happiness is not there. Yeah, it's like Adam and Eve. So I think that, like, oh my God, I really wanted to be I don't know, to have my own business, thinking that, oh my God, I will feel so great, like I will be the boss of the big enterprise, and so now I am, but happier I am not. And so on and so on. Just each of us, we are living in this material world, and we are a lot of our desires have been already satisfied. We had a lot of wishes, and many of them came true. And please agree, it brought you less happiness than you really thought. And the real happiness came from the things you would never think, like, come on, could it have that impact? So, false ego is the reason why we are here. And sometimes we have desires that we don't have the capacity to get them in this life. So we are being born again and again, so that all our desires can come true. So what here we notice? We notice the tendency of the saint people. What is their one of the main characteristics? they don't care much about this material life. They don't care about the way they look. They don't care about the quality of the clothes they have. They only have one robe, something, and that's more than enough from their hearts. They don't care about the food. They don't care much about this material life. And when some monks on the Afon monastery were asked, some reporters were allowed, and they were asked, one monk who lived for years in the cave in the mountain, and the reporter, the hunter of the sensations, he said, "Oh my God, like, you've been living here for, I don't know, 14 years, whatever. Like, can you imagine how beautiful, like, how can you not desire to see the beauty outside your cave with no sun, with no window? Like, world is so amazing out there," the journalist was saying. And the monk looked at him and he said, just, "If you only knew how beautiful is here inside." Because the spiritual is million times more intense and beautiful when more than material. But it will only become beautiful when we really satisfied our material desires. This is why, my dears, what I'm always saying in all the classes I say, and especially in the numerology courses, because that's the point. The numerology course has one single purpose: for us to become happy, for you to get the knowledge which will really answer all your material questions, because it's so important to satisfy our material questions. So the numerology course just shows you, or any other predictive courses, just show you, don't waste energy there or there. That is your line. That is what you will do, and here you will become materially happy. So don't waste your energy searching for your ways. That's your way, and put all your effort to achieving material success through this formula. Because to saying, as many people choose to behave, that, come on, you material people, like, spiritual is important, forget about all this. I mean, come on, how can you focus so much on the material things? Focus on the spiritual, and so on. So they're liars. They are liars, because you can achieve real spirituality when you are happy in your material world. When you already can renounce the material, not because you don't have it, but because you had it all. And you understood that actually it didn't bring me that happiness. So now I want to try something else. So you need to satisfy all your material desires in such a way that they don't create more consequences that will force you to be born again. And so that you understand that, well, yes, I was really thinking that that is something that will bring me happiness, and it hasn't. So let me focus on now gradually getting to the spiritual. And like this, step by step, in small or big doses, the false ego is being melted, because our material attachments become weaker, they become looser, and they become lesser. And the body of our material desires, the false ego, is becoming weaker, melting away, and giving, like the cloud, when the cloud disperses, it allows that 100,000 suns to shine. And that is the time when we become powerful. That is the time when we can read the minds, when we have superpowers, where our intuition works amazingly well. But this time we don't want to hear other people's thoughts in order to manipulate. We are happy to have the superpowers because we can help somebody be happier in this life. and so on and so on. Then we are going next with the structure of our body. Outside the material, the false ego body is such a wonderful structure, such an entity. And this entity is God. So we are of the same quality as God is, that is the soul inside the circle, inside the red circle, that's the soul. The soul is of exactly same quality as God, exactly. Only the quantity differs, and that is all that matters. The size of the soul is, if you take one hair and you dissect this hair in 10,000 parts, one single hair, you take one single hair and you dissect this in 10,000 parts, so one part out of these 10,000, that is the size of the soul. So can you imagine such a small quantity of God has the power of 100,000 suns? What about God? This is why on the mountain, the God said to Moses, turn away, you are not able to see me. Turn away. If you look at me and if you see me, you will burn in 1 millisecond. You are not able, you are not pure enough to see me. And who is not pure enough? Moses himself, he's not pure enough to see God. So what about people like me, like us? So God, as a loving father, says, okay, you wanted to go, to go in different area in exile. But me, like a loving father, I will follow you. I will keep an eye on you. So a part of God, like I don't know, in your brain, you just formulated the way you want, in metaphorically, but just like a constant, like a video camera, if you want. Yes, is inside us. That is our if you want, the voice, the why, what they say, God is inside you. Yes, it's inside us as well. So that is the observer, that is the aspect of God which is inside every single living entity. And that is God who is observing and who is praying for us that we choose the right way. And the happiness, my dears, the happiness is when, so you see these two particles, the soul inside the circle and the God outside the red circle. What separates us from God? The body of the false ego, desires. And once this body is erased, this is where happiness happens. This is when the God, the soul unites with the source. When we become one and we become happy, we are getting back to our nature, divine nature. After that, the body, what is next? The next layer is intellect. Next layer is the intellect. After intellect, so intellect, the body of the intellect, the mental body, is the one who defines our principles. The mind works, the mind, not the mind, the intellect works on the platform. This is useful, this is harmful. So even though if I like wine, I will not consume this because it's harmful for my body. So the intellect works on the platform useful, not useful. The next body is the body of the mind. The mind works on the platform I like, I don't like. I don't care useful or harmful if I like the wine, if I like the chocolate, if I like the coffee, if I like speeding like crazy on the street and not stopping for the red traffic light, then I will do that and I don't care. Then follows the body of the senses, the feelings. We have five senses which are passed into our brain through five organs of sensoric organs: the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, and the hands, the tactile senses. Then, so this is the etheric body, this is the subtle body, and we remember that the intellect, false ego, and mind is transferred into the next life, and our next life will be given to us according to our desires. And let's say a person who who lives like an animal. We know such people. I'm sure we know from movies, from our real life, from stories, but we can exactly very well imagine such people who really, you don't understand why God gave them a human body, because they really behave like animals. And all they care is satisfying their senses and in ugly way. So let's say a person, they only want to have sex and to drink and not to work. Then the God says, like, why to burden this person with a human body when his or her interests are absolutely different? So God says, okay, let's see. The person likes to drink. Who likes to drink? Monkeys like to drink alcohol. I mean, elephants like to drink alcohol. The pig doesn't care what they drink, but monkeys and elephants, they really like to drink alcohol. But the problem is that the elephants, they also work, but the person doesn't want to work. So monkeys will be okay for them. Of course, I'm bringing a very extreme like example, but somehow like that we are getting a body according to our desires and according to the goals for the next life. Then we are having the material body made from the physical, that is the green one is the physical body, your flesh and bone, and these two are the pranic. Do you remember last time we spoke the inner prana and outer prana? Outer prana is our aura, and inner prana is our the body where our chakras are connected. And which also connects us the inner energetic channels called meridians. The outer level aura in healthy people, I mean in average people, it's around 50-60 centimeters. our energetical field is around 50-60 centimeters. In a positive person, in a healthy person, in an ecological harmonious person, the aura is shining. The aura is without any holes in it. It's not leaking energy. It's protecting the physical body properly. I will be talking about this in the legendary Promised seminar about the connection between our physical bodies and our way of thinking, so that you understand that a headache is not just a headache, and that the cancer, it's not about you, I don't know, having being genetical or like other things are actually there is nothing much called as genetical illnesses. So in people who are the sick, the sicker are the people, the thinner is this outer layer of aura. In a person who dies, this layer is about a couple of centimeters only. After each cigarette or after consuming alcohol, the aura becomes dark and it basically shuts down its protective functionings. So just imagine people who smoke one cigarette for a couple of hours. They say 4 hours. Let's say only 2 hours. Most of the people, they smoke, I don't know, probably every hour. So how much people harm themselves. In spiritual, powerful people, this aura can get to even a couple of meters. There are people who, with great enthusiasm, try to increase their aura, to launch their chakras, to become so mega powerful without realizing that if your aura is larger, it means you will deeper interact with the energies of other people. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to be like a vacuum cleaner for all the rubbish around you? Because making the aura brighter, larger for some time, it's not that difficult. But are you ready to handle all that information, energetical information that will enter your body? Is your mind and your heart ready to handle that? That is the question. The very same is when all those courses that ladies like of becoming, of raising their sexual desire and being extra mega, I don't know, sexually powerful. Okay, you launched all the engines in your body, but don't you need a man who can handle you and can handle all those energies? So that when something is done artificially, it cannot bring harmony. So 49th chakra, the meridians, plus the meridians. The meridians, I already mentioned this in the first class, are the energetical channels, also called in Sanskrit nadi, which are connecting us to the universe. These are kind of the cables. These are kind of the portals that are connecting us to different angels, or call them managers, universal managers, or call them demigods, whatever is more comfortable for your mind. Why we need them? Because we have, this universe is highly organized. Nothing is chaotic here. Even the chaos, apparent chaos, is highly organized. We have to live by rules in order that we survive, and by obeying the rules were created so that we kind of have a a slight chance to go back home. It's just like the signs of the on the road. When we have the signs, it's safer for the driver to drive, because we understand, oh, there will be a U-turn or a inclined road, or there will be a bump, or there might be deers, or there is a block post, or whatever. Like those are the signs that make our life easier. In the universe, there are 33 million such managers, such demigods that are responsible for all the possible laws and rules and regulations in the material life. In the body of a human, we are only subordinated to 350,000. Can you imagine that a human, a soul in the life of the human has to obey, has to know 350,000 rules and regulations? It's hard. It's very hard. And God, there were times when this was possible. There were times when purity on earth was so clean that demigods could live just on the same street with the humans. But along the time, we lost that purity, and God sees that we degrade, but still, as a loving father, he said, okay, no problem, I will make it easier for you. And he said, I will reduce you these 350,000 rules only to 999, the laws of Manu, the Manu Samhita. Demigods are the part of the material world. They are exactly same creatures as us, only they are purer. They are living on a heavenly planets. Yes, if we are living in those 14 realms, we are living in the on the half in the middle of it, on the level of the planet Earth level. Then heaven, paradise, the upper 6 heavens, there is where the demigods live, where the angels live. This is also the material world. They are material. If they commit mistakes, I will talk about this later a bit, if they don't fulfill their duties properly, if the amount of their good karma finishes, they are getting back on earth. But of course, after a heavenly planet, they will degrade gradually. So on earth, they will be born very beautiful people with born in rich families, so that at least on earth, but they live in the best conditions. And then if they degrade gradually, they will just, their life will become worse and worse. By the way, Mozart in his previous life was a dweller of a higher realm, of a heaven planet. He was the Gandharvas. The Gandharvas are the artists, the musicians of the heaven. They are just why his music is not just beautiful. You don't have to like his music, but whether you like it or not, it has an amazing exclusive impact on human being. The cows are giving more milk. The chickens are egging more when they listen to the Mozart music. The dolphins are reacting to Mozart's music in an incredible way. The humans, the children, the human brain is reacting to the Mozart music in a little explainable way. From where? And the Mozart, he is, as a composer, forget that he started playing when he was still in the breastfeeding, but the level of the music that he was composing was so intense. that another commercial composer, out of one piece of his Mozart music, he could have done 10 self-sufficient different music pieces and sell them and make 10 times more money, if that would be the purpose. That intense were Mozart's compilations. And he himself said that I'm not composing, it's not me. I am just hearing. And more than that, when I'm hearing more than one variant. Can you imagine? Like Mozart was not only hearing what we know today, but he was hearing like double or triple of that, those what we have today. There were more as just the same equally beautiful, amazing music creations. But he said, I'm just hearing, and it's so hard for me to choose which one to choose. I'm hearing and I'm writing down. I'm not composing it. So the demigods are just part of the material world. Only they are living in heaven, and they are purer than us, with higher values, and they are working. There in heaven, they are not only enjoying, but they are also working. And in case they fail, they will be transferred, they will be downgraded. This is why we are connected through energetic cables, energetic informational meridians to those demigods. From 999 laws of Manu described in Manu Samhita, again it became so hard for us to follow. And again God said, okay, like I will be understanding again. And he reduced those 999 to 613 rules of the real Jews. And he said, at least follow these ones, only 613. But time passed and the humans degraded. And 613 was already too much to handle. And again, God said, okay, okay. And he said, Moses were somewhere taking sun baths on some kind of heavenly beach, and he was extremely happy there. But God sent him an SMS on WhatsApp, and he says, Moses, like, come on, now it's your turn. These people, they will be lost without you. Like, come on, go take a look what they need, and just give them only 10 commandments. At least make sure they at least can handle those. So Moses were born on earth, and he did what he did, and he got these 10 commandments. And he said, okay, just these 10, come on, people, just 10. Can't you follow them? And for the moment, people tried, but years passed, and it didn't happen. So God said, Jesus, it's your time. Like, if not you, I don't know who. Go and give them, tell them just 2 sentences, just from my side. Please, in your beautiful way, just explain them. Give them two orders only. Like, love God with all your mind and with all your heart, and love the one next to you just as much as you love yourself. Just love. Tell them one key word. Just love. No matter who, but love. And Jesus sacrificed himself for that. Jesus knew of what will follow. He knew the crucifixion would be there. He knew of the pain he has to go through. He knew everything. He was prepared since childhood for that. When he was not even 11 years old, he was already taught by great teachers. And one night before, in the eve of the crucifixion, he was praying to God. And he said, God, please make this cup of poison, cup of suffering, make it pass by me. Like, I don't know if I can manage. I don't know. Like, please don't make me go through these sufferings. And God said, I love you so much. Whatever you want, I will do. If you want me to really avoid, make you not suffer tomorrow on that cross, I can do whatever you will ask me, and I will do whatever you ask me. But Jesus understood that if not the suffering on the cross, the entire mission will be jeopardized. And he said, not God, no God, I will go till the end. And on the cross, he was suffering as a human. He was feeling the pain he was feeling with the senses, with the complete senses of the human. So the cables that connect us to the demigods, they are helping us most of the time indirectly to understand how we are supposed to act. Because how do I know if I break, like I want to be happy, and most of all, like I want, like, with all my spiritual knowledge, with all my spiritual tendencies, with all my knowledge, I really want to be, I have a lot of material desires. I'm aware of them, and I want them to come true, even though I understand that it will not make me that happy, but just like a child, I want. So for that, but I also understand that I want to shape my, like, I know that in my among my material desires, there are a lot of desires which are not mine. So first of all, I want to filter those away so that I don't waste my life on desires which are absolutely not mine, which were given to me, forced into me by my parents, by my family, by the society, by social media, and so on and so on. I want to get rid of those desires and just to live my desires. And my desires will be again shown me through my numbers, through the numerology, astrology, and so on. So I study myself, and I only live the material desires which I have the right for them in this reincarnation. And then next step, I will do my best to accomplish these material desires that I have my right for, but in such a way that I don't create further negative karma. By satisfying my desires, I will not harm anyone else. Like this, my happiness will be bigger because there will be less pain for me. The more I cause pain to others, the more pain I will be caused to. So how do I know what is right, what is wrong? Because what they teach us at school, the guarantee is zero that it's right. What even our parents teach us, the experience shows that absolutely most of the things are not right on the universal level. Even a lot of rules and regulations of a country are also far away from being right. So then, but I really want at least to try to live my life in the right way on the universal level. So how can I know? Because I personally, in my 42 years of life, I have never received an WhatsApp message from an demigod saying that, Rada, yesterday you did this and this was by this you broke my rule, so I am sending you this lesson or this punishment or this fine. I have never received such one. I have never heard the voices in my ears saying that, Rada, that is wrong what you are doing. I haven't heard such direct indication. Why? Because my heart is not pure. It's very gross. It doesn't have that fineness to hear the demigods talking to me. So how do I learn? I trap, I fall, and if God willing, God is merciful, God gave me my knowledge. I mean, not my knowledge, God gave me knowledge. It means I also did something very good because, my dears, knowledge is the, pay attention what you will hear now. Knowledge is the most powerful energy on earth. It's much more powerful than money and sex, sexual energy. The energy of knowledge is the most powerful. This is why those of you who are listening to this, if you had the access to this kind of knowledge, then please tap yourself on the shoulder and say, something I did, I don't know why, but something great I did that I reached this day of my life to hear such knowledge. Even if you don't like it, even if it doesn't settle in your mind, just try to listen it once, maybe after a couple of months, second time, but just try to listen. You've been given the chance to hear these words for one reason. It means you are ready for another level of life in all your evolution. The power of knowledge is the biggest in this world. And if you have the access to the knowledge, to the pure knowledge, then you really did something great. You deserve this. So how do I learn? I trap, I fall, and then first level is I blame. I blame everybody. Everybody is guilty. My parents are guilty because they didn't love me. They were not tender enough to me. The country is, my president is guilty because he doesn't care about the students. He didn't give me proper quality of knowledge, and then he didn't give me a good job, and they are constantly raising the prices, so he's not giving me the chance for a nice life. Then of course I'm blaming my husband because he's not good enough. I'm such a wonderful woman and he's just, I don't know, he's not good enough. Then I'm blaming my children because they are so stupid and why the teachers couldn't teach them. Like, I'm blaming everyone for the times that I fall. And of course I will keep on falling till one day I will, with my face in the mud, I will say, what if it's not the municipality who is guilty for not fixing this road? Why if it's what if it's me? And first time in my life, I will ask myself, what if it's about me? And every time I will trap in the future and I will fall, trip, not trap, I'm sorry, trip. I will trip in the future and I will fall. I will ask, okay, what happened? Develop the ability to always analyze what is happening in your life. Something good happened. You instantly analyze, okay, what preceded to this event? What was happening in my yesterday, before yesterday, 1 month ago, 1 week ago? Something was there that you did that caused this good event happen. You lost something. Instantly think, what did I answer? What decision did I take? What was the conversation 1 hour ago, one day ago? Instantly think. After each event, if you feel that in a due of 2 hours, you know, people are calling a certain similar events, like you notice that usually my phone doesn't call, but it called once, and in the morning I received a phone with a very interesting question, then somebody called and offered me something, then somebody called and booked a session with me, then some, like, you understand that what is happening in this time frame. The energies are such, so you understand that the energies of communication, something good is happening, so instantly use this opportunity. Maybe launch something, maybe call something, maybe announce something, maybe, I don't know, but just always observe what is happening in your life, because the angels, those demigods, are constantly trying to send us the messages telling us that you did right or you did wrong. And whenever we break the law of a certain demigod, then automatically, let's say, the punishment or the suffering, it means the lesson, will come according to the jurisdiction of that demigod. It means, just like in numerology, we learned about 9 energies. Each energy is responsible for a list of events in our life. And when I know, oh, something bad happened in my, a bad situation happened in my life, and I understand this situation is related to what? Oh, this situation is related to to I don't know, to my children or to my mother or to another thing, and I understand that, oh my God, this is the jurisdiction of the moon. It means, what did I do? What did I do yesterday? What did I do recently that could have caused this thing? And I understand, oh yes, that time I like, I don't know, refused and food someone, or I did this, or I did that, or I just left, I just left the water in the hotel pouring just because it's a hotel and everything is paid and I don't care. So these, knowing these 9 energies at least, which are only 9 jurisdiction, but already how life-saving it can be if we are spitting in the fire, then or I always am bringing this example because the boys, they used to lead off the fire by peeing on it. Yeah, it's fun, right? It's fun and it works. Okay, it works and it's fun. So nobody knows that actually by doing so, you are disrespecting, you are breaking the rules of the demigod of fire. And first, I mean, not first, but one, you can have the infection of your urinary system and you will not understand, like, what is happening, why? And you will have, because the fire is also the symbol of sun, so automatically you will have a distorted relation, maybe with your father, maybe with your some authorities, maybe with your boss, like things in your life will be distorted through the tools or in the areas of your life that certain demigod is ruling. For the same of peeing in the river or peeing in the seaside, and most of the people would say, so what? Like I was saying, so what? But it looks like it's so what? It's a big deal, because for your, emptying the bladder and intestines, you have special places. And if you do that in the river or in the seaside or ocean, whatever, natural water basins, then it's a disrespect and you break the rules. And many things that, you say, how can I know that? Well, nobody knows that. I mean, if we read, we would know that, but we don't read. We read different kind of stories, and we spend time in different type of informational sources of knowledge. But if we read, we knew. Let's say we don't read, but at least we can be observative. My dears, not knowing the rule doesn't uh, if you don't know, it doesn't mean you're punished. You just didn't know. It's your karma. You didn't do anything that you are given mercifully. This knowledge doesn't absolve you from the responsibility. Absolutely. Thank you, Joseph. Why do you remember, I don't know if in this course, in these meetings or another, I was always saying that in the numerology probably, always keep on doing good things, even where you are not obliged to do that. Because by doing charity, by doing good things, by helping others, without any interest, like you do the good things and you throw it in the water, you are accumulating those divine currencies that will help you, that will pay for you in such a situation when you need an answer. And and your angel has the ability to pay for you. I mean, to help you. When you really want to know something and from the heart you are asking this question, God will always send you the answer. Just don't be attached to an answer in a certain form. Oh, I was thinking that like this I will I will receive it. Come on, keep your brain on, keep your eyes open, your ears open, and be simpler, and God will always answer your questions. In our body, we have I don't know how it's said, but it's written like this. Okay, 10,000 in the power of 28. 28, I don't know like what kind of number this can be, that many souls there are in our body. 10,000 in the 28th power. That is how many souls we host in our body, because in every single cell there is a soul. Only its consciousness, it's extremely primitive. It's on the level of a cell. So 10,028 plus one soul. This one soul is you, is the real you. It's the one which came from the one who reached the consciousness level in order to rule with those 10 and 28 level souls. So that is the captain. You, the soul, is the captain, and under your subordination are all those billion of souls. You are on the level of a high developed soul. Those are on the primitive souls. And your job as a developed soul is to guide, to educate the rest of the souls. You have to make them understand in what kind of mood they have to grow and develop. And this is called how this soul, you, okay, here you are the soul, how you can make other cells understand what is our policy, you will send the messages. You will send them messages, informational messages through energies, energetic channels. You will send to every single cell messages with your mood, with your command. It's like sending from these cell billions of rays to different kind of cells, to different kind of systems from these 10,000 trillion souls. So imagine, Joseph, what kind of boss you are. You are boss over 10,000 trillion souls. Can you imagine what kind of responsibility that is? Because one day, each of these trillion souls will become a soul like you after trillion years. So it's a huge responsibility on you now. The better you'll do your job, the better you'll be rewarded by the maestro, the great maestro. So that is called consciousness, my dears. All these energetical messages that we are sending to our employees is the consciousness. Because the way I think, that is how my body will react. And I will talk a lot about this in the webinar about the reasons, the roots of our material physical sicknesses. And you will be, I mean, most of you, especially who took the course, numerology, you already know, but for a lot of people, it will be surprise to know that our material body is built according or as a result to the state of our aura, of our energetical body, not vice versa. Our energetical body is built according to our thinking. And I remember the case of a French woman. She was very ugly. She was I always say that every woman is very beautiful. Absolutely every woman, every single woman is very beautiful. Only she behaves not nicely, but all the women are beautiful. But still, there are really women that we could say like, oh my God, she's so ugly. So that French woman, she was extremely ugly, like ugly, but she wanted to have a child. And with such face, I don't know, she couldn't. And the time her clock was ticking, she was not managing. Eventually, somehow agreed with somebody, she got pregnant, and she was very happy. But her dream came true, but instantly, the moment she got pregnant, she knew she's pregnant, she was so extremely happy. But the very next minute after knowing this, she again got upset. I mean, she got unhappy because she said, oh my God, what if my kid now, and for some reason, or she wanted a girl, or maybe she was feeling it's a girl, or maybe she was saying like, what if it's a girl and she will be ugly like me? Again, like she got her dream come true, she's pregnant, and instantly she's get back to being unhappy, and she says, what if my child is not happy and not beautiful? What if my child will be just as ugly as I am? And she was panicking. So she decided, probably she also had some kind of knowledge, and in the room where she was living, everywhere on all the walls, everywhere where she could look, she just hanged the pictures of beautiful people, beautiful children, beautiful men, beautiful women, beautiful boys, girls, everything, beauty. She was surrounded 9 months by beauty, and she had a wonderfully beautiful girl. So that is just a case to picture that how important is the way we treat the bodies that we are not seeing. And if from this I mean, from here, yes, from the soul, from the captain soul, from the general soul, the order goes that the person lives off the platform. I want to take, I want to consume, I want to consume more. I don't want to give, I only want to consume. Then obviously the same message will go to every single cell in the body. And in the nature of the spirit, in the spiritual nature, is just giving away 70%, let's say, and living for your needs just a bit, because you don't need so much. But the cells, when the general cell is, when the general soul is acting on the basis that I don't want to share, I want only to give, to take, I want to consume, I don't want to give at all, nothing, then every single cell in our body will act just the same. And instead of giving the energy to the system, giving the resources to the system, they will try to keep everything for themselves and to multiply, and this is how the health is being destroyed. And when in such a rotten mindset the person is dying, the body is consumed by worms in the next couple of hours. The worms come to consume the negativity that is coming from such a mindset. The worms are neutralizing the negativity. The worms are growing, they are benefiting, but their energetical job is to neutralize this rotten mindset. When a saint dies, and the saint doesn't rotten, and we move it to special monasteries, churches, and people visit, people touch that relics of the saint, and they get healed, their dreams come true. From where such a power? Why the worms don't come to eat this also flesh and bones body? Because the cells in such a body are tuned not to consume but to give. On the inner inertia, when the general soul is not in this body, but those 10 trillion of cells, of souls, have been trained so nicely, and they have stayed devoted to the general soul and to the cause, that they are continuing sharing love even after the general soul departed, and the worms have nothing to do. They are just coming close to the soul, I mean to the body, and they are just consuming that energy of love that keeps on coming out of this body, because the body, those cells are tuned to giving, not to consuming. This is why it's not the fairy tale stories. Those are not plastic, I don't know, something kept in a glass box just to, make money. Such people exist, and will always exist. They are rare, but they are there. And they are there to inspire us, to somehow, I don't know, tell us a word, and so that we have also the chance to somehow grow. Those are the people who are living on the spiritual platform, on the platform of the heart. And before going there, I want to show what is the difference of in a body of a man and body of a woman. So the very same structure, here is the soul, here is the false ego, and here this is the man, okay? This is the man. This is how man is made. So there is the soul, there is the false ego, and the very same the man has the body of the intellect, and he has the body of the mind, and he has the body of the senses, 5 senses. The woman, she also has, she's the soul, she has a very big body of the desires of the false ego, and she also has the intellectual body, she has the body of the mind, and she has the feelings body, senses body. So you see the differences, my dears? This is intellect, this is mind, this is senses. This is intellect, this is mind, this is senses. Joseph, you don't see the difference in come on, Joseph, it's like just you know, in those comics, all those games for children, like find the 2 or 10 differences. The difference in the following drawings is, you see the drawings, right? Everybody sees the
Yes, yes, I see,
Okay,
but
okay. I'm just checking, you know, maybe I'm doing it for myself and you are not seeing. My dears, the difference is in the mind body, the position of the mind body. In a man, the mind body is closer to the intellect. In a woman's body, the structure, her structure in such a way that her body of her mind is closer to the senses. It means that the man is more rational because it's easier for him to be guided by principle, guided by this is good, this is not. The woman is easier to be driven by her senses. And what if he's right? I don't like it. And the women will always agree, all of the women will agree that whenever we are having an argument with our husbands, let's say, but it can be with anyone else, but just with husband, everybody went through this point, and the husbands, now the man on the group, you will also recognize your women. So the woman starts having hysteria, the woman starts having her emotional volcano, she starts vomiting on you everything, and she starts talking about adequate things, but carried away by emotions, she at a certain point stops being adequate, and she just starts talking just driven by emotions. She herself realizes that, come on, I'm not right, but she cannot stop herself. She will just keep on vomiting and shouting on you just because she feels like this. There is not intellectual support in that. She knows herself that I am wrong, but I cannot stop, and I'm just keep on shouting just for one reason, because the man, being very far away from the senses, he doesn't realize that in this moment all he has to do is not talking, but just come close and hug her. But will be the last ever option that he will think that he has to do. That will be the last idea that he thinks that will help. But actually, this is the first thing what we need, we women, when we are just being hysterically, emotionally, hyper. Vomiting all our senses, because we are not rational. We don't care if this is right or wrong. This is how I feel. And you, as a husband, it's your duty to love your woman and don't try to understand her. Only if you, if the man on the group can follow this, I mean, not on the group, I'm sorry, on the whoever will be watching this, can follow this advice, your marital life will just improve radically. I promise you that. So we are going back to the saints, and not to the saints, but just we started from the saints and the consciousness. That's the difference. That's the difference of our life, our quality life, our consciousness. What is my values? What are my principles? Based on what fundament my life is being built? Is it built on the fundament that I don't care what will happen to you? God, please give 1 million to everyone. But like my husband says, but please let me be the first one. Yes. So that is, that is one kind of consciousness. And there is another kind of consciousness that when you are ready to give and let to yourself just a tiny bit, and by this, it will what you have, your hands will only become more full. And do you remember we were talking about the Kundalini? Also a very
Yes.
vehiculated topic among the highly spiritual circles, where people organize courses, practices. Like it's a very good hook to write that come and learn how to raise your Kundalini, because when you raise your Kundalini, you will just become invincible and almighty, and so on. So let's see what's about the Kundalini and what kind of energy this, and what can make it rise. And that time you'll decide if you will know exactly. Like now, my dears, for free, I am giving you the guidance and the formula how you can really raise your Kundalini energy and really become almighty. And if you are ready to go through the steps, then it will be my pride. Okay, so in our second chakra, there is the first root chakra and there is the second chakra. The second chakra accumulates the energy, sexual energy, which is also called Shakti. So the sexual energy is accumulated in the second energetical center, the second chakra. And there are two options. What you can do with this energy, sexual energy. And you all know the first answer. You just can use it in a sexual act, or you can get to a level when you can save it for more important things. And this means that you will shift it to the third chakra, where this sexual chakra will become the energy of success. Then you can, the alternative, the option of going on and raising it to the level of the fourth chakra, our heart, the energy of love. Then you can move further of raising the energy to the fifth chakra, the third eye, the energy of creativity. My dears, most of the great creators, inclusively Einstein, not talking about those who wrote music, who wrote incredible masterpieces, who created paintings, whatever, great creators, in the times of their creation, they were in celibacy. Because if they would just waste their sexual energy from their second chakra in a sexual act, they wouldn't create, because the masterpiece, the beauty, when something is really beautiful, my dears, there will always be present God, always. Beautiful things in this life, they can only be created according or based on some spiritual vibes, some spiritual, I don't know, knowledge, principles. God is always involved in beautiful things. Later, if we are I'm sorry, the fifth chakra is the throat chakra, the creativity. Then we can move on that energy to the two higher chakras, the sixth and the seventh, the third eye and the crown chakra. That is the energy of intellect. That is the energy of insights. That is the energy, the highest energy. And if we somehow manage to raise our energy till the sixth and seventh chakra, to transform that once upon a time sexual energy into intellectual energy, that is the base only for the yellow kundalini. That is the energy that has the power to dissolve the body of the false ego. So the yellow kundalini, that energy that reached these centers of our mental, intellectual centers, what happens? How our false ego body is annihilated by shifting dominoes. You know that game domino? So by turning the dominoes, parts, elements from wrong to right, from shaping our mindset from wrong, from illusionary into right, because there is an absolute truth and there is a relative truth. The absolute, that is the absolute truth. And each of us, absolutely each one of us knows only one piece of this truth, and it becomes my relative truth. This is my truth. I believe that this is true for myself. And if someone of you is close to, if your truth is close, is neighboring to my truth, we will be friends because we speak the same language. I'm vegetarian, you are almost vegetarian. I pray like this, I call my God this name, you call your God this name. We are friends. But oh my God, if I am calling my God A and you are calling your God Z, then we are on different poles, absolutely contrary poles. And here we become enemies, so that we are ready to kill each other. So, but we don't understand that the pieces of our truth, they are part of the big truth. We are only not looking from the right perspective. And here, please tell me, the day and the night, it means the light and the darkness, which is absolute truth and which is the relative truth? What is absolute and what is relative? Light or dark? Light or darkness? Light is absolute, yes, because when we are opening the window, the light comes inside, not the darkness goes out. What is the absolute? The teacher or the student? What is the absolute and what is the relative here? The teacher or the student?
Maybe the student.
The student. Anybody? Student is relative and teacher is absolute. So somebody says that the student is absolute and student is relative. The right answer, student is relative. The right answer is student is absolute truth. Because the moment a teacher stops being a student, he dies as a teacher. His ego takes on and he thinks the moment you say, I know, that moment you just prove that you don't know anything. This is why the absolute truth is student. We all, till the last breath in our life, we should remain students. No, the doctor dies as a doctor the moment he stops reading. That is a horrible statement, but it's true. It's horrible because doctors, I mean, in on the post-Soviet Union territory, I know everybody reads till they die, but like I can answer for Lebanon, doctors don't read. And basically it's for any professional. You die as a professional the moment you stop increasing your qualification in whatever you do. You die when you stop thinking. What it means, you think as long as you are searching for more and more answers. Now, what is the absolute truth and what is the relative? What is absolute and relative? The rights or the rights or the duties? The right is absolute or the duty is absolute. What is relative and what is absolute?
The duty.
I'm sorry?
The duty.
I don't understand it, but can you?
The duty.
The duty is absolute, you say?
Uh-huh.
Joseph says the duty is absolute. Of course, the duties are the absolute truth, because all the conflicts in the life is when everybody wants, but everybody wants to take, but nobody wants to give. So if everybody in this life would think of accomplishing their duties properly, then everybody would be happy, and so on and so on. The moment the person understands that your partner, your husband or wife, your partner is not the source of enjoyment, it's the object of your service. Who is marrying in such a mindset that the husband or the wife in front of me, it's not the source of all my dreams and my enjoyment. This is the subject I have to serve to. But we are getting married and we'll say, okay, start satisfying all my duties. And the partner just does the same. Okay, no, you first. And you say, no, you first. No, you first. No, you first. And you start fighting. And people divorce. And my son just very recently, he was playing with magnets. He was playing with two magnets, and he's showing me when the magnets are just attracting each other, and he's having so much fun. And I don't know from where it came in. I cannot explain till now. I should ask him. But the magnets are just attracting each other, and he's again pulling it apart, and again it's just pulling towards each other. And he says, Mom, look, people before marriage, this is how people are before marriage. You know, just attracting constantly towards each other. And then he turns the magnet the other side, and the magnets are just pushing each other aside. And this is how they are after marriage. I say, oh my God, like 10 years old, like why would you formulate the things that way? So that is the truth. Why? Because in the mindset, this domino of relationship is set in a wrong way. Instead of knowing that I have to serve my husband, I'm expecting him to serve me, and I start having reproaches and oh my God. So when the energy raises to such high level, I am becoming resourceful to change, to shift my mindset from wrong to right understanding. And with every domino that I am able to shift in the right side, more and more energy is released, because maintaining the lies in our body consumes a lot of energy. And I'm talking about this in the truth therapy. When the person thinks that his business doesn't grow because he doesn't have enough qualification, or because he's not good in selling, or because he's not something else. He doesn't have a good, I don't know, helper or promoter. And the person really believes this. And this is a lie. And the person, in order to maintain this lie, consumes a lot of energy to sponsor the life of this life, the life of this lie. The very same, the woman says, I'm not happy in my marriage because the husband is not good, and she is paying a very high price that for this lie. She is sponsoring this lie constantly, just to maintain this in her, this formula in her mind, that I am good, but the husband is not good. And the truth lies in absolutely different scenario. When your truth is that for you, big money is equal death. And the moment when in the truth therapy you get to this root of your lie, and you just understand that, oh my God, you feel in your body resonating all this energy, and you feel that energy. That is also the energy you feel after the rebirthing session. So once our dominoes are shifted to the right position, a huge amount of energy is released, and it erases a part, a quantity of our false ego. And you feel that you have more power because your those 100 sons became more powerful.
Power on. Off mode.
Can you please say something? I just want to see if I hear you. Anything? 1,
We
2,
hear
3.
you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm hearing you. Okay. So this energy, this huge amount of powerful energy is released in this area, 6 and 7 chakra is released. And what happens to it? It goes further to the 8th chakra, which is above our head. And what is that? That is the nimbus. That is that light that we are seeing in saints above their head, as what we call nimbus. That is the energy of yellow kundalini. That is that yellow, glowing, shining energy. Hello?
Radha, we hear you well.
No. You say yeah. You can say yes, absolutely. Hello as well. That is, my dears, yellow kundalini. So now you tell me, is it possible to raise your kundalini energy in all that kind of classes and practices that people are offering? Then so first it means like you see, again, I'm bringing into example the saints. They were able to handle their own material issues, material problems. They solved all of it. They shifted their mindset towards the right side, and they got the access to that amazing, they didn't get the access, they generated that amazing resources. They connected to the divine energy, they connected to God, they became that what I showed in the first place, where this false ego dissolves and those two parts, divine parts in us, unite. Then it's not the end of the story of yellow kundalini. Then this yellow kundalini pours back inside you, inside your heart. And every time it just goes down into your heart, you experience divine ecstasy, catharsis, divine ecstasy. You experience divine insights. That is why that monk living in a cave on the mountain for years, he said, if you only knew how beautiful everything is here, because he was experiencing that pure, let him not be saint, but he was already experiencing a dose of those spiritual ecstasies which have nothing to do to the physical orgasms. And it goes down, the yellow kundalini goes down, continues going down into the lower chakra till the second chakra, and there it transforms into the red kundalini. And red kundalini, the red ojas, is a helper of the white ojas. Do you remember last time we spoke that a person, once the person is given a material body, the person is given a certain amount of life energy. It's called white ojas. We cannot multiply it, we cannot increase it, we only can wisely use it. For those, I'm telling, for those who haven't watched the previous two parts, I highly recommend that you first watch the first two parts of this seminar. So the white ojas cannot be multiplied or increased. It can be wisely used. So here the red ojas comes as a help to, in some kind of critical situation, situations of crisis, in situations of illnesses. It helps, it gives a hand of help to the white ojas by let's say people who have to work the night shifts or whatever, like it gives some extra energy to the body, so that the life energy is kind of saved. And again, it keeps on continuing the previous circle of raising to the third, fourth, and so and further circles energy, if of course, if the if the person decides to maintain such a high level of consciousness. The second chakra is empty from the start, from by birth, it's empty. And the first 12 years, the children accumulate their energy, and closer to 12, 13 years, when that energy is accumulated enough, what starts that a difficult age when children become teenagers, puberty age. And we know how they how children transform in these years. This is why the saints, or let's say not saints, but the point is to live from the level of the fourth chakra, not the second, not the first, not the first chakra where the goal is to survive, not the second chakra when the goal is to enjoy no matter what is the price, not the third chakra where the goal is to have power no matter what, but from the fourth chakra when you are giving energy of love no matter what. And when the yellow kundalini gets down into the second chakra and it gets the color of, it becomes reddish, red kundalini. And in old times, very old times, because the people were really pure and they were able to use this amount of red kundalini to burn themselves when the time approached the final time of their reincarnation on earth. It was not needed for them to wait for the sickness to come, to die. They understood that my job is completed, so they were able just to burn themselves. Obviously, it was not painful. If you somehow are afraid that maybe it's painful, obviously not. It was an energetical, conscious process. We are born to be happy, and as I said, we are meant to be happy. We are meant to have certain material desires. It's not bad. The point is only to know which desires are yours, to filter, to live in your area only those desires, and to pray to God that you have enough knowledge and power to satisfy your material desires in such a way that you don't increase your bad karma, but you increase your good karma. And when we are born, we are born not alone. We are getting with us a lot of indicators, a lot of indicators of where our happiness lies. But also a lot of traps are there. Because around us are not only the well-wishers, but also those who wish us badly, wish us to die, to be unhappy, because die anyway we will die, but to be unhappy, to fail in our search for happiness, and they give us illusionary directions. When we are born with certain talents, with certain skills, with certain abilities, which we transfer from the previous lives. And here is the first trap. A lot of people realizing that at a young age that they have certain abilities, which skills, which they call talents. I'm talented in this, I'm talented in that. And they say that I will build my life according to this and that talents. And here is a big trap, because when you look at those children who at the age of 2 years, they can add six-figure numbers. We see children who at the age of 3, they can play the most difficult piano compositions. Children who at the age of 1 year and a half, they know all the capitals of the world. And parents, oh my God, their ego is triumphing, and they say, oh my God, my child is so talented. And of course, we will keep on developing this. This child will continue studying mathematics, and this child absolutely the conservatory is for him, and this child is like the parents. Obviously, when the child is born with such a talent, come on, who will not use this talent? The teacher will say, oh my God, you have a wonder kid. Your kid has a bright future. Your kid will be playing in the, I don't know, biggest concert halls of the universe at the age of 12. And they start sourcing the development of that child towards what he is good at. And this is the biggest trap for those children. Because if we read the stories of such wonder children, their destinies, we will know that a lot of them finished in alcoholism or other kind of intoxications. A lot of them, quite a high percentage, committed suicides, and none of them were happy. None of them were happy. Creatures with such a bright future. Why they were not happy? Because they fell in the trap of mistaking the talents, the skills for the talents. That kid was playing the piano in such a way. That kid, another was counting six figures, digit figures in his mind, just because 4 years ago, that one was the greatest composer. The other one was the professor at the Harvard. Maybe he took the Nobel Prize. Okay, mathematicians don't get the Nobel Prize. Because 4 years ago, 3 years ago, he was a profi in what today as a child he still remembers. He developed that quality to the highest perfection ever possible. And you are forcing this child to go again for the 6th time in the first class, in the first standard. What's the use of you going again and again in the first standard when you are 20 years old and you are the smartest among the 7-year-old kids? Will it make you happy? Yes, you will be the best. Absolutely, you will be the best. But will it make you happier when again and again you are going to the first standard, when those kids from the very first standard, they are already married and they have their careers and they are living happily their dreams, and you, the smartest one, keep on going in the first class? Everybody will commit suicide in such conditions. Nobody can resist. Those are the skills. And The talents are hidden in your biggest deficiencies, in your biggest weaknesses. My dears, please understand and please hear me that the formula of your success is discovering your talent. And the talent is hidden in your biggest, in your darkest place of your essence. In a horoscope, we see the talent in the weakest part of it, where the biggest problem is. That is the biggest treasury is hidden. And what everyone is advising today, people, do what, like, go with the flow. You don't like it, don't do it. Do what you like. No, my dears, to a certain extent. We are born in order to shift to a higher quality. That is the purpose of a life in a human body. We are meant to become better. For that, we have to overcome our fears and weaknesses. We have to commit a high quality shift in this life. For that, we have to look where we don't want to look. We have to face our fears. In the horoscope, in the chart, there are 2 points, Rahu and Ketu. The one is symbolizing your past with what you came, your skills. And the other one shows where you have to reach, and they are situated 180 degrees from each other, 100% opposite each other. It means what you are. You are here and staying here. Of course, it's easy because you are already smart in this area. But happiness lies here. You have to go all the way towards here and becoming something that you are not comfortable with. And here comes into play that black angel and white angel. When we come on earth, we come with 2 personal assistants. One is the white angel, and his goal is to, by all means, by possible and impossible, to help us find our way towards happiness. And there is the black angel who, by all means, is paid to make us divert from our happiness. And that black angel shows like, Radha, why are you going there? Come on, you are such amazing in composing the music. Stay here. You are such a great organizer. Why you need to become a mom? My dears, if not the numerology, astrology in my life, I had great chances to commit the mistake of my life like 5 years ago. I was in a huge dilemma of what to choose. And I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. I chose what I chose, and I know the right choice. I don't know what would be if I had been given another chances, if that time I would choose wrongly. But again and again, I don't know when I would become happy and how I would have become happy if I didn't have the help of the numerology and astrology and my life. And you present here as well, I know how much you know and how much it helped also you, because it's a shortcut to our happiness, the knowledge. So the black angel just stays there and influences us, trying to move our eyes towards the easy way, towards a way which is juicier. And he said, come on, why all this? Just be more, just come on, run further, run faster, compete more aggressive. Come on, why you need to stay here? Look at Mary. Look how happy she is. Look what she's doing. Do like Mary, and you also will be happy. and you do like Alexander and you will be happy. So the black angel tries to show us all the possible juicier scenarios around us. And that is what Instagram is all about. Appearances that life is really beautiful. Come on, we don't know what is behind those screens. We really don't know. It's important to know what is behind our screen. As long as you are comparing your life to somebody else's, you didn't find your predestination. As long as you are envying somebody, you didn't find your predestination. Because when you find yourself, it means you found your predestination. You don't want to compare yourself to anyone, and you don't feel like envying anyone because your happiness, your life scenario brings you the best ever feelings. And nobody can do that. And once upon a time, very long time ago, my brother, when he was convincing me why he doesn't want to practice rebirthing, and he says, Rada, what if just like you, I will not like me. He said, like, Rada, I don't want to do rebirthing. What if I really understand my predestination and I understand who I am? My life will be so boring. I say, absolutely not. From the moment we find ourselves, that is when our life starts. And here is the biggest surprise, that, and also one of the biggest traps for many people. When does actually our life start? Because our life doesn't start when we are born. Our real life, our meaningful life, our karmic life. Our life is divided into two parts: the closed karma part and open karma part. And between them, there is a point, the karmic maturity. The karmic maturity is that point which symbolizes that the closed karma is finished and you are entering into the open karma. It's like the gate into the open karma. The closed karma period is you are karmically not minimally responsible. You are karmically minimally responsible. We all know that. I believe in, it's not about the culture geographically, I believe it's about religion, and I believe it's the same in every confession, that it's considered that children are not responsible for their sins till around 12, 14 years old. Right? I believe it's everywhere the same. Children are considered, they are sinless till this age approximately. And there is a reason, and Vedic knowledge as usually gives the answer to all the rituals, which for us remained as empty phrases and or meaningful rituals, and this is why kind of we stop using them. But in fact, there is a huge meaning behind every single phenomena, and because the full moon and the growing moon and the decreasing moon, my dears, did you know that the moon was once upon a time, there was a time when the moon was always full, but something happened and it became 2 weeks like this, 2 weeks like this. So that this story is the part of maybe another meeting, but today I want to say the story why the children are considered sinless till the age of 14 years old. Once upon a time, in a very long time ago, there was a saint, Mandavya. He was a great sage. He was a great sage, and he decided to do some penances. He needed to reach some level of powers. superhuman something. So he decided that I will keep silent and I will be in meditation for like centuries. And he was being in this process, and once near his ashram were running away some thieves who robbed someone, and they were just running away from the police with all the looted goods. And they were seeing already the king's army reaching them. They got scared, so they just ran into the ashram of this sage, Mandavya, and they hid there. The army came, the soldiers came, and they saw the sage, and they started interrogating him, but he promised he will not talk, so he would not talk for anything in this world. So they just ignored him. They went into ashram, they searched the ashram, they found the thieves. So they considered that the sage was somehow contributing or hiding the thieves. So they took with the thieves, they also took the sage to the king's court, and they were all sentenced to death by being impaled, being shot with a spear or a sharp wood piece of wood. All the thieves died, obviously, but the sage was not dying. 1 day not dying, 2 days not, like he was not dying. Because of the energy of the good karma that he had, he could easily sponsor to live more. I mean, to maintain his, to go above the material laws of nature. So he was not dying, and the king knew, and he came and said, "Why you are not dying?" And now he spoke. He said, "I am this and that, and this is what you did." And and the king said, "Oh my God, forgive, no, 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 please, please, please." He said, "Okay, like, okay, forgive you." So they cut the pieces of the wood that were just out of his body, and he continued living with this piece of wood inside his body. But he couldn't understand why this happened to him, to a personality like him. Why such a punishment or injustice could happen? So he went in the highest realms to the god of death, to the Dharmaraj, Yamaraj, the god of karma, the god of karma, the one who is just, the one who doesn't commit mistakes. And he said, "My dear, what happened? What did I do so that I get this punishment? Like, what did I do?" And Dharmaraj just took his book and he said, Mandavya, Mandavya, okay. And he reads, when you were a kid, you impaled a butterfly. You just impaled a butterfly, so you impaled somebody, so you got the same. And Mandavya got crazy. He said, "Are you crazy? I was a child, and that was a butterfly, and that was millenniums ago. And now the sage of my caliber, when I am doing such a thing, and you are getting me through such a punishment to pierce me with the wood, like it's not proportional. It's like absolutely crazy." And I consider that it's absolutely unfair, and that is the one who whether read the Vedic stories or knows me more than heard a lot of my stories, you know what follows. "And I curse you." And he cursed him and said, "I curse you to be born on earth in a very unfair circumstances, so that you learn what is fair and what is unfair." And again, for the millionth time, I am not recommending. I am recommending from the bottom of my heart, even though my husband yesterday said, Rada, it's not the bottom of the heart. The heart shouldn't have a bottom. So from my bottomless heart, I am suggesting everyone to watch or to read the Mahabharata, the greatest ever. Ramayana and Mahabharata is the greatest ever story on earth in this existence. So Yamaraj, the one who gets cursed, the god of justice, the god of death, and the god of dharma. Dharma is duty, responsibilities. He is born in Mahabharata as Vidura. Vidura was the minister of justice, so he was the counselor. He was the one who never lied. He was the just. Obviously, he is the reincarnation of God of justice himself. But he was born from illegally from a servant maid, from a saint, but a servant maid. So kind of his brothers were the pretendants for the throne, and he was their brother, but born in a low, like kind of in illicit story. This is like my the teacher of my teacher says this is the biggest, the most exciting detective story, Mahabharata and Ramayana. So the sense is that Yamaraj is cursed and born on earth, and that sage said that from now on I declare that all children beyond 14 years old will not be responsibility for their deeds. This is from where comes the idea that children till 12 till 14 are not responsible. But okay, the child became 12, 13, 14. And what? After 14, we are responsible? Yes, and not fully. Because as long as the person is in that period of closed karma, we are almost minimally responsible for our actions. Why? In the first part, I believe I said that in Bhagavad Gita it's written, the way you die in the previous life, with the very same mindset, you are born in this life. When we are born, I was born in this life, I never remembered my mindset from the previous life. I believe each of you, nobody remembered, because the memory is erased during the birth process. I don't remember, but still the Holy Scriptures, they don't lie. Our memory will be restored through life circumstances. And those who did astrological or numerological readings with me, I always bring this. In most of the readings, I bring this example because it's very important. The memory has to be restored. For restoration of the memory, each person individually is given a certain amount of years. Like in those serials, Santa Barbara, every new episode, they would show 30 seconds of the previous episode so that we refresh our mind what happened there, so that we continue with knowing what happened. The very same here. The child is born, the child doesn't remember, the child has to remember. So a certain event of life events happen. And I'm giving the very same example. Let's say the old woman, she died in an old age, and she died with the idea that life is not fair, men are bastards, they are using the woman, they are not responsible, the woman has to control everything, and they are not appreciative, and I hate the man. She's born in a family when from the start the situation is bad, the dad is bad, or the dad is not there as well, maybe he abandoned the mom and the mom is complaining constantly on men, then she gets married herself with 25 different men, and all of them are beating, disrespecting, and treating her badly. So by the time she reaches to the karmic maturity deep inside her heart and in her mind, she said, I hate men because men are bastards, they are irresponsible. No, 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 no. Job is done. Memory is restored. Here is the point where karmic, the closed karma finishes. The gates open and the human being is ready to start living his or her own life. Can you understand that only at this point the life starts? It's like only from this point you are fully free and fully responsible for what you do, because before in the closed karma you are not free. 100% of everything that happened to you is predestined. You were not able to avoid the marrying this specific man. You were not able to avoid having this accident. You were not being able to avoid that conflict or that trip or that school or those anything. Everything was predestined because everything was a decoration for your memory to be restored. And when the karmic maturity, that point comes, you feel, now I am responsible for my life. Something inside you shifts. It can be an event, it can be a feeling, it can be a book, it can be a meeting with somebody, it can be something absolutely insignificant, like on event level, but something inside you shift and you say, now I am responsible for my life. Because before you are being raised like a tiger in a cage, you are giving food, you cannot influence how many times you'll be fed. You are fully protected because you are in the cage. You have to do nothing. You are not responsible. Everything is being done for you. But when the tiger is ready, the gates are open, he goes into the jungle, and now he is fully responsible for what happens. If he is hungry, he has to hunt. He will not hunt, he will not eat. He is fully responsible for his life, because if he will not be attentive, somebody will attack him. He will be shot by hunters. So he is fully responsible. He is absolutely free to do whatever he wants. But according to his decision, his karmas, the life events will be different in his life. And now, my dears, is the biggest surprise that the karmic maturity can be for man between the earliest for men it's 18 years and the latest 42 years, and for women the earliest with her menstrual cycle and the latest is 42 years old. Can you imagine a person living let's say that woman, her karmic maturity comes at the age of 40 or 42. By that time, she's been married 7 times. She had awful experience in relationship. And she reaches to this point of karmic maturity and says, enough, I hate men. And when the gate opens, she say, now, I will never be a victim again. I am tired. From now on, I will revenge on all the men in this world. I will use them. I will misuse them. I will destroy them, but I will enjoy. And she doesn't understand that actually only now, at the age of 40 or 42, even 35, only now her real life starts. And what she has to do is, okay, 7 marriages, 25 relationships, all of them were using me. Like, what if it's about me? And for the first time in her life, she thought, like, what if it's about me? And instead of hating the man, she said, let me see if I can change something inside me. Maybe it's about me. And this is how she starts living her real life. The very same for man. Maybe he was meant to be a loser all these 42 years in order for him to develop some mindset. And at 42, when his karmic maturity comes, And he has to finally start living his dreams, building his dreams, working on his project, being daring, being himself. And the Black Angel says, come on, like 40, it's already late to start something. What you want to study? You are already 40. What you want? What you want to start a new business? No problem, stay here. What you want to change now when you're 35 or 45? It's late. It's never too late. Even at the age of 40, so my dear, I want you to understand that it's never too late to make any radical change in your life. At the age of 63 is a very important moment when the demigod of death, Yamaraj, has his secretary, Chitragupta. And Chitragupta is the one who is registering he is receiving all the messages from White Angel and Black Angel. So basically, my dears, in the moment, in the day when your karmic maturity starts, when the open karma starts, Black Angel takes his book, White Angel takes his book, and they start noting every single act. The White Angel from his jurisdiction, the Black Angel from his jurisdiction. And all these WhatsApp messages are constantly sent to Chitragupt. And Chitragupt has the records, the secretary of Yamaraj. He has all the records of every one of us. So when the person becomes 63, Chitragupta takes his records of Radha, and he does a preliminary distribution according to whatever has been done so far, knowing that actually people don't change radically after this age, taking in consideration what a short lifespan we already have. So basically, Chitragupta is doing a preliminary distribution of the person towards the sinners or the righteous people. Only a preliminary. Just, to match the bookings, like how many free places I have here, is everything booked here or there, like just a preliminary. But the final distribution, of course, will be done only in the moment of death. Only in the moment of death. This is why it's never too late to get a piece of knowledge even 5 minutes before you die, when you are already having the 4th stage of cancer and you will be dying in 2 weeks, and it's still not too late to take and to try to get a piece of knowledge, because this knowledge will might make a big difference in the next life. When my teacher was telling us always the story of an old lady, senior lady. She was 79 when he was teaching, when we were learning in the Vedic Academy. I was learning online, but there were offline classes. So there came a lady who was 79 years old. And usually there would be like young people, 30, 35, 40, 25, like not 79. And the first class, everybody was introducing themselves, and she understands that everybody is looking at her like weirdly. And she said, like, let me please talk the first, because I see how you look at me, and like, let me clarify all your curiosity and answer all your questions. I'm old. I'm already 79, and I know that I can die at any moment, but I want to start learning this knowledge now. I want to know this before I die. So, because I know we are shifting with us in the next life, the mindset that we have in this life. So I want next life to be born in a family where people from the first day will already be talking about this knowledge and about this God, about God in such a manner. I want to be born in such a family. I don't want to waste years of me searching for it. I want to be born immediately in a family where this knowledge is not taught but is lived by. This is why I'm here and I want to get this knowledge. And she died when she was 82, so she studied like on the third year of her studies there. She died. This is why it's never ever too late. In the first class, I said that sometimes before even dying, the person is still alive. The servants of Yamaraj, those ugly devils, creatures, they come to the person to scare the person. Why? And I was reading a book about saints and priests and religious people who how you call this? Who were okay. All the saints who went through the ordeal. The word is ordeal. Who went through this ordeal. Ordeal, it means you are going through all these stages of hell and kind of seeing what is happening there. So this, I was reading that book and like I say, okay, a sinner, okay, I don't know, any kind of people, but saint people, priests, religious people, like, why do they have to go through such moments? And everybody has to go through such moments. And it's really like you are reading the book and you are saying, oh my God, like, what about me? And all those servants of death are coming to scare us so that maybe at least 5 minutes before death, we will make the right conclusions. They are there to give us the chance, just like the God sends us a sickness so that we realize and we shift something in the frames of I mean during this during our life. And also another helper, by the way, if the white angel is failing in his duty and the person doesn't find the predestination, the next life, this white angel will be born on earth as a human, with the meaning that you couldn't help a human, your tools were not enough, your ways were not efficient enough. This is why be born on earth and learn how these people function, get to know them better, so that tomorrow when you are again an angel, you will know better how to impact these people. Why the black angel is so insistent on not allowing us to reach our goal, to find our predestination? Because once the person find the predestination, we become happy. As long as we didn't find our predestination, we will keep on doing what? Envying, getting angry, living in an illusion. And in one word, we will emanate negative energy. The black angel comes with a very big funnel. And he said, please, this is what I needed. I triggered you and I won. I want you. I will trigger you. And again, I will trigger you so that every time you feel uncomfortable and you start emanating your negative energy, because every time a lot of quantity of the negative energy pours in my funnel, this is the fuel for my motherland, for my underworld. Do you remember I told you they got the electricity, they need the electricity. For an electricity, they need fuel. The fuel they are getting from the natural resources. But a much bigger source of fuel for electricity is the energy of love. So the anger, the envy, the negative energy is the very same energy of love, but the person voluntarily gives it away. The devil doesn't have the right to steal the energy of love. We can only give it willingly. They don't have the right to steal it. But they can trigger us so that we willingly get angry, and every time we get angry, we are just donating our love energy in the form of negativity to this underworld, and this is what they need. This is why they want us to be unhappy. In order to be happy, we are also have we are also you see, I even have this written, the 6 stages, the 6 ladders towards hell. The 6, my dears, the 6 ladders towards hell. And just so that maybe some of you can understand where are you going towards. It all starts with envy. Envy is the only, do you remember in the first class I told you that all the feelings we have here, the very same feelings are in the spiritual world. We are only mirroring, but only envy is something that is the most destructive. Envy is the most destructive emotion that we can live. So envy generates lust. Lust is when I want to have something that it's not mine. I want to possess. The lust generates greediness. Greediness generates anger. Anger generates craziness. I stop understanding what is right and what is wrong. And craziness generates illusion that I am God. And it all starts with envy. So my dear, what is the most frequent energy all around? Is the envy. Social media is generating so much envy. So in order for us to reach our goals, we also have another category of helpers, and those are soulmates, our soulmates. Another category of I mean, same like Kundalini tribe. There is another tribe that is frantically focused on the soulmates. He's my soulmate. Oh, Rad, I know he's my soulmate. I feel we are the same. Na. And after 1 year, like, we separated. What happened to the soulmate story? Like, you were all the same. Like, what happened? And I always remember my son with the magnets. So soulmates is let's say scientific terminology. When we come on earth, being in the spiritual world, being in the spiritual realm, and for some reason we decide like, I want to try something else. I want to play somewhere else. So God says, okay, I created the material world, all that story. But we do not descend by ourselves. We descend in groups. One group is completed, go. You know, like the missiles, like the I don't know, the wagons. Like you, one group, these buses, all the spots are completed, go next. So we are descending on Earth in the material world in groups called gotras. Every group is 126 souls. These gotras, these people, 126 souls. These are the soul mates because they came in one bundle. And the good news or the bad news, it's the bad news for the first soul and the bad news for the last soul on this gotra is that they can only be living to the spiritual back home all together. It means the best has to wait for the worst. What does it mean? It means that every soul individually has to reach to the level of consciousness of liberation. Can you imagine 126 souls to wait for each one to get rid of all the desires? Like you are already with all this yellow kundalini boiling above your head, and Radha is still drinking and dancing in the night bars. And you said, oh my God, like when will she understand? Like, oh my God, like when will this be? I want to go home, but I have to stay. I reached liberation, but Radha is still having fun. And what to do? I cannot live without her. I cannot live without 126 people, the rest of the 125. And I say, okay, like instead of waiting, I will involve in their lives. I will be born again and I will help. I will help. So in every life, these soul mates are interacting, interfering at least once in a lifetime with the single purpose of helping somehow the lower soul. And it doesn't mean that the interaction with our soulmate will be, oh my God, sweet and nice, and you will feel spiritual ecstasy. Absolutely not. It can be your biggest enemy. It can be your tyrannic husband. It can be your drug-addicted son. It can be a person with whom you met in a train only for half an hour, and that person recommended you a book, and you read this book after 5 years and it changed your life. It can be a participation of a 5-minute, but it gives you a place. I mean, it somehow helps you reach faster. So with common purposes, with common like efforts, we are already 2 souls who are liberated. So we are, like I have a help. So somehow we can, one is focusing on Radha, who is already, alhamdulillah, not in the night bars, but she's focused on her career. And she's not understanding that it's not all about the money. Like she still has things to understand. And eventually you reach when 125 souls are fighting for one single last brother or sister mate who is still lost. that is your teacher, that is when you are already at this level. Of course, you are not part of some kind of aborigines. You are already at the stage when your community are spiritually developed people, are high people. So it's already like everybody's kind of similar, till the last mate is reaching to the level of liberation, and with the very same bundle you say goodbye material life, never again I will commit the same mistakes. And the soul who was lost will never be lost again, and he regained itself will never be lost again, and they are departing directly to the spiritual world. By the way, do you know what are the gates on earth towards the spiritual world? Because I told you from the 14 mandalas, from the 14 levels, hell and the paradise.
The Himalaya?
Yeah, Kailash.
Himalaya?
Yes.
Himalaya
Yes.
mountains?
Yes,
Oh.
Himalaya mountains, and there is one particular mountain, Kailash, where Lord Shiva lives and dwells, and that is the portal to the spiritual world. So from all the 14 mandalas, the exit is only on earth. This is why we are also, let's say, special.
Radha,
Yeah.
so when the 126 souls are liberated, how do they go to Kailash? When they die, they pass through Kailash. Is that it?
Yeah, the soul goes through.
Okay, it's not like you have to go physically alive there.
No.
I thought it
It's
would be
easy
like
that way.
physically hard.
It's easy. Kailash is an amazing and exclusive, really exclusive place with a lot of portals. It's a place of extreme curiosity or interest for a lot of people, but the higher the interest is, the less are the chances for people to reach. You cannot go on Kailash, it will not allow. No, it's not about the equipment, it's not about anything. It's just the purity of your heart that will allow you to step on the Kailash, and the wonders they describe, people who describe the Kailash, it's really amazing. It's like it's I don't know, it's amazing. So no, it's the spiritual trip. But in Mahabharat, at the end of the Mahabharat, when after the big after the Kurukshetra battle, the great war finishes, and 36 years pass. God is also departing from this material world. Back to his house, Krishna is leaving, and the 5 main characters with their wife, it's described there ascending on the Kailash. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful story. Again, I'm saying, once maybe we will share it. So the soulmates, again, I'm saying all the people around us are meant to be there. And for example, astrologically, we can see if two people are soulmates. And for example, I know a couple of people around me, and knowing this, you already analyze things differently, and you understand the wisdom of all this game, that only a maestro can arrange all this game, is really incredible. So the also I wanted to say, talking about the Kailash, The other day, my teacher in our class, we were analyzing the chart of Blavatsky, Elena Blavatsky. She was a great esoteric. She studied Kailash a lot. She wrote about Kailash a lot. She was the founder of the Secret Doctrine. She wrote her legendary work. She was the founder of the Theosophic what you call, not organization, but foundation, like all this movement. But in fact, she failed in her mission. She was a person who was promoting a teaching without God. Because due some her life event, she said, God, I hate you. You made my child die, my innocent boy die, so I hate you, and from now on I will exclude you from all my writings. She had superpowers. She had superhuman powers. She, like God, made a big bid on her. Just the same Mozart, he didn't accomplish his mission. Pushkin, the great, whoever, not whoever, I mean, I believe there are very good translation of Pushkin in English. Read. He was a big messenger. He was a big God's messenger, and he failed. He failed his mission as well, no matter what greatness he created, but still he failed. Why, my dears, why all these people and other? Tolstoy wasn't a simple man. And they all had a very lifestyle absolutely not to be proud of. Why these great messengers of God failed? Because God always leaves the freedom to us. He gives us the power, like Jesus. He said, if you want, I will save you from tomorrow's sufferings like this. I will. But Jesus said, no, I understand how much is on me, and no, I will go. And in human body, he went on through all this pain. Why these people fail? Because the black angels' temptations are great. And the black angels, do you remember in numerology courses we were talking about master numbers, and we spoke about the fact that people who have master numbers, active master numbers in their charts, very often they are drunkards, they are people with zero values and absolutely losers in their lives. Why? Because the black angel feels that there is great power in this man or woman, and we will put 10 times, 100 times extra forces to destroy him. We will tempt him through whatever you want. If not money, sex. If not sex, beauty. If not beauty, power. If not power, fame. If not fame, immortality. Whatever you want. We will use all our weapons. But we will do our best to make him fail. Where there are great powers, there are also great anti-powers. So the another important, when we are born, we are born. Do you remember in numerology we were saying that the date of birth defines our character, our qualities, right? So we are born with a certain, imagine a luggage. Okay, a luggage. Do you remember the old doctors would come in a luggage of like a triangle? They would just open it, like, you know, it would be a triangle luggage, a suitcase. And so this is the suitcase of our character. So in this suitcase, it's divided in two. One part is like good features of character, strong features of character. And the second one is the weak
Traits.
Yeah, but that is the word. No, it's the deficiencies. If you understand there is something bad, you will fight it. And the more you will fight it, the more it will what? It will grow. The more you will fight, the more this already full half will inflate till it will just blow up. And you are lost like a person. But this second half of our weak points is the deficient. It's the deficiency of courage. It means you have to add courage. It's the deficiency of generosity. It's the deficiency of empathy, of kindness, of smartness, sense of humor, whatever you want. It's not missing, it's just less. And all you have to do, develop, keep on developing it. So this is how it's important, how much is important to my prayers for all the teachers at schools to know basic, I don't say astrology, it's hard. Numerology, all you need is a pen and a piece of paper. That's all you need, and basic knowledge, so that you know who is in front of you, how to handle this kid or that kid. Imagine if the teachers would have the basic knowledge, how much more harmonious their process would be. What about the parents? Basic knowledge just to know how to guide who is in front of you. My dears, there were some questions. Also, one of the questions I forgot to answer last time, it was about the IVF. Somebody was asking on the Telegram channel related to this IVF. What about the children conceived through the IVF? Do you remember I was saying that the more technologies, the less spiritual?
Yeah.
So the conceiving part, giving birth to a life, is the most spiritual process ever in this world, because out of nothing, some kind of energy lands down in this material. Like, it's the most spiritual moment. And people are trying to do this artificially in a laboratory, through technologies. So this is a demonic process. It doesn't mean that the soul that will come through this process will be a demonic soul. Maybe not. Maybe it will be an ordinary soul, but obviously not with a very good karma. Why? Because you were forced to come. You were forced to come. You didn't come. You are not inviting a child through God's wish, through natural wish. You are forcing it to come. You are generating it. And a child who is conceived in a laboratory, in a cold, soulless laboratory, is deprived of a lot of warmth and a lot of qualities. Obviously, those are not artificial people. There are people with real souls. I mean, but you are depriving them of a huge emotional part of life, because from the start they were conceived in cold laboratory. Think why you don't have a child, or just think that if you don't have a child, this is for a reason. Think that you don't have a child, God is not sending you a child. Maybe you are not ready. What are your motives? What are your motives to have this child? Do you want it for yourself, for your ego? Or you want just to experience your motherly attitude and to take care of a child? If this is so, then adopt a child. There is an option of adopting a child. You are not ready to adopt a child. That's also fine, because adopting a child, it's a hard process. It's emotionally, I mean, not only bureaucratically, but I mean, it's not easy to adopt a child. But there are the orphanages are full everywhere. Take care of a child. Go once in a month, go spend some time there, play, don't bring them anything, don't spend any money. You don't need money for that. Go and play with them, take care of them, read them, tell them stories, teach them, I don't know, paint if you can paint, or I don't know, jump or doesn't matter, million ways of experience your motherly feelings. But still people want this. So not somewhere, one long time ago, I heard that the moment a child is conceived through IVF, another naturally conceived child dies, because on Earth everything is in balance. The moment a monk dies, automatically another person will have that call in his heart or her heart that I want to dedicate my life to God, and I am becoming a monk, because the number of monks is stable, because we need these monks basically are neutralizing our humans like me negative emotions and emotions of anger, of violence, and they are neutralizing those through prayings. This is why monks are meant only for praying. They are not meant to work. This is why they are sometimes in India sitting on the side of the road and asking for alms. And that is the right thing to do, to give them money, to give them food or clothes, because so that they don't waste their energies on the working materially, but only praying. It's another question what kind of monks we have today, but anyway, the idea is such. So I don't know how, I mean, in my heart, I feel that related to IVF things, the moment one is conceived, one is dying like that. Everything is in balance in this life, naturally in balance. So whenever you come with these artificial things, then women should think why we cannot conceive naturally today. That's the point. Why we are not being able to conceive, because you live a life of a man in a body of a woman, and of course you will not be able to conceive like this. The mindset should be shifted here, not your womb should be violated. Also, another thing that I forgot to say, it's a small element, but it's also important. If people die at home, if for example in our tradition, immediately we would cover the mirrors. Instantly we would cover the mirrors. Why? Because the mirror is a portal, like Alice in the Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is not a book for kids. And a soul can, by mistake, or do you remember the souls of the people who are practicing black magic? They can easily enter the mirror, and like a mirror is a portal. Even though our mirrors are not the real magic mirror that was made from silver, like how the traditional mirrors were made, but still the mirror is a portal, and in order for the soul not to be trapped inside, they were instantly covered. This is why the mirror is not a joke, and you shouldn't have like a million mirrors, I mean more mirrors that you need in your house. And actually this is why in Vastu is, and in Feng Shui everywhere is it's like a very strong recommendation, or it's forbidden to have the mirror in the bedroom in such a way that you are reflected in it while sleeping. because while we are sleeping, the soul gets out of the body, and it can again be trapped inside the mirror. This is why we should not have the mirror reflecting. The white and black angels, yes, they are demigods. Yes, they are demigods. Look, the demons are just as smart and very often even smarter than the demigods. The demons are extremely smart people, extremely. The only difference is that their motives are selfish, but knowledge-wise, they are top expert in all the esoterical and spiritual knowledge. They know exactly, perfectly well everything. Only their motives are different. And usually the demons challenge the God through their professionalism. They say, I'm the best one, I'm challenging you. And God accepting the challenge, and there is a battle. And of course, the demon is killed by God. Whoever is killed by God directly gets into the spiritual world. And from there, the demon says that kind of, I didn't know that it feels so good when you serve. I was thinking that it only feels good when you consume, but actually it feels good when you serve. So his mindset shifts, and with all his knowledge that he has, and with all his this shift of mindset towards the piousness, these people are usually sent on earth as great prophets and great teachers, because they already been there. They know how to be bad boys, and they say, I don't want this anymore. They have the knowledge, and now they have the love for God in their hearts, and they will never change it. Once you've been there, for example, once upon a time, I was a woman who was fixed on the career, on material plans, like all my dreams, like all this, what I'm talking today. If I would, I don't know, if somebody would tell me that, Rada, this is what will be, I would say, no, please, never, ever, like, cancel. Like, I would say that I would be the most miserable woman, feeling very unhappy in what I am today. But being a housewife, no, never. Like, if somebody would say, I say, what? No. But now that I'm here, I've been there, and now that I'm here, being a proudly housewife, proudly mother, happily wife, and happily having God in my heart, and not being fanatic with all of this, I know that I don't want to be that kind of woman, unhappy and miserable woman, even though proud. No, I don't want. I want to be a simply housewife, and I'm powerful. I'm almighty, and I'm loved. I'm happy. I won. I'm happy. I am creating. I'm a magician. I'm a witch. I'm creating my reality, my happy reality. I don't want to go back there, because I know that there is full of lies. The very same here. He's been a demon, he knows the knowledge, and he touched God. Now he will never change again. Yamadutas, yes, just rise. Demigods on the heaven realms have to be incarnated again at one point on earth to go to the spiritual. Yes, absolutely. My dears, to go to the spiritual world, we have to get rid of bad karma as well as good karma. If you have $5 left, you have to spend them. Go, please, 5 minutes, eat another ice cream and go. But you go upstairs, zero bad, zero, like your balance is zero. And this is why, my dears, I know we are late, but this is very important. Black angels are like the Matrix trying to farm us, like human farm. Absolutely, yeah. I don't know Matrix. I haven't watched. I should, but I haven't. But yes. So with this getting back, getting your balance to zero, that is another great wisdom behind the tragical fates of parents who have children who die early, or parents who have sick children and they consider themselves, oh my God, I'm so unhappy, I have this sick child. My dears, only a great mother and a great father can handle a sick child, autist, any kind of handicap, mentally. Like, that is tragic. But for some reason, the child comes, and most of the time it comes to very conscious people, and people say, oh my God, I am this and that and healthy lifestyle and everything. Like, how could I have such a child? And I'm saying, if not you, who? If not you, conscious, with lifestyle, with right understanding, who can handle this helpless, great soul in helpless body? And I always bring example of the story of my neighbors. I have a neighbor who, like, I never would say that, I always say that there aren't bad mothers. But seeing her, I said, no, there are bad mothers. Like, there are bad mothers, point. Just by the fact that you gave birth to a child doesn't make you be mother, and mother is not by default good. There are bad mothers. She had two kids. She has two kids, little kids, and she would leave them inside the house. She would close them, and the kids would be like 2 years, 4 years. She would just lock them inside, and she would go having coffee with one, another, third, fourth, and the kids would cry, and the kids would just, like, tearing my heart apart. And like, I would go to those kids, I would give them, I don't know, some biscuit or something, at least talk to them through that door, and there the kids learned to open the door, and they would come out and cry. Like, I don't know, a monster, what to say. And she had a third child. She had a third child, a third boy. I said, what to do? Like, and that little child, I would hear, she as well would leave him in the house, would go her things. He sleeps, then he wakes up and he cries, and like, my heart though, like, I don't know, I was ready to hate her and like everything. And I would, like, one time I was not enough, like, I hear that child cry and I go to her. No, she before with the two kids, and they came to me, and I see them crying. I say, okay, sit here, mom will come now. And they like, and I go to her. I know, because I know where she is. I go to her, and usually I'm sweet and nice and everything. But that time she woke up the Scorpio on me, and I shouted to her like, if one more time I hear these kids crying because you are not there, I will just call tete, and you will just, like, you will lose everything you have in this world. And like, I really made her tremble, because after that the neighbors told me. But like, I didn't know how else to make her understand that, at least factually, like, somehow realize you have two little kids who depend on you. So she has this third child, the very same story. And one day I wake up and I hear some movement, like 6 o'clock, and like, it was earlier, like it was 5:36, and I hear something is active outside, and people and this and that. Eventually I understood somebody died. A little bit of more this something, I understood that this little kid died. This boy, he was like something 8 months old. And usually you would say like, how is it possible? What happened? Like, what? Like, usually when you hear such stories, you say like, I want to know what happened. That was the case when you didn't even need any kind of explanation, but rather you would be surprised like how he managed to survive 8 months. Like, in this case situation, you will understand that him dying was a much more normal and explainable event than him surviving. So the questions were not there. Anyway, you do your duties. I went, I stayed and wished her whatever you wished her, and 2 days after, I hear her laughing from her heart. I said, did I hear wrongly? Like, I usually, by default, I trust people. By default, I always think very good of people. And by default, I will defend people. So I said, no, Rada, you understood something wrong. Like, I know. I went and I looked. It was her laughing. I say, maybe, sometimes when you are in crisis, you can laugh. Like, you really can laugh, because it can turn out when you are close to being crazy. And I lost my husband and it was very painful. If I lost my kids, probably I really would go crazy for some time. I would go crazy. I know I would go crazy just for some time. After that, I would be fine. But for some time, I definitely would go crazy. So I was thinking maybe she's going crazy and she's laughing. I say, okay, if that's the way for her to process trauma, why not? Let her laugh. Good, she laughs. She heard something funny maybe. But then next day, I see her already spending time with other neighbors, and they are discussing and they are laughing and they are joking, and she's absolutely normal. So her life continued in such a joyful manner, as if nothing happened. And I said, what kind of emotions? She's frozen. Lucky her, she doesn't have that level of sensitivity. She can go over such a tragedy normally. But she was enjoying her life, as if probably she just said, thanks God he died. I'm back to normal, living my life and having my freedom. And the questions in my head continued. And when you are honestly trying to understand, not just for the sake of blaming and say, oh, I'm such a perfect mom and you are such a bad mom. No, I really wanted to understand why. So that file was not closed in my mind. And the answer comes. God gave me the answer because probably my questions were honest from my heart. And he gave me the answer the way I would never dream, in the detailed way that I said, God, you are a maestro and you are the biggest joker in this life. So my teacher of Arabic, she comes, we have another class. She's from the neighborhood. She's teaching everybody English and French, but she's teaching me Arabic. And she tells me in between, I never asked. She herself, she told me that eventually first they said that he just choked with milk, but then his mom thinks that the cause is another. When he was 5 months, he had a surgery, because when he was born, he had 6 fingers on his hand. And this moment, I understood everything. So his mom thought that something in the surgery went bad and he got sick. No. I was not hearing what she's saying anymore, because I said, now, God, you gave me the answer. Now, God, you gave me the answer. Because when a person, having 6 fingers on the hands, one of the hand, means that this is a person from the heavenly planet. And I know such people. In India, you can see many people of this. And I understood that this child, this soul, what did I say? Even if you have $5, you have to somehow manage it. You have to burn everything till the end. So this soul comes to be born. He only has a tiny reserve of bad karma. So he has to burn everything. So the soul comes to live only 8 months in sufferings. The suffering of birth, we know that being born is one of the biggest sufferings. So only by being born, we are already annihilating a big amount of karma, bad karma, negative karma. plus going through such sufferings, of course, you are intensely burning your negative karma. But like I am already understanding everything, but my teacher continues and I only hear one more word, one more keyword that it was like a bonus from God for me, just like Rada, you deserved. And she said, and you know what? This woman, the mother, she herself, when she was born, she had herself 6 fingers, but on her food. And I said, God, thank you. Now I understand everything, because the 6 finger on the foot is a criteria that the person is of a demonic nature. So this heavenly soul is born to a demonic nature, so that the suffering is guaranteed. Because you understand how beautiful, like we need all people around us. We need mothers like her as well. She served that soul, because with a mother like me, it had to happen an accident somewhere, somehow, because I'm taking care very well of this kid. He would not die at 8 months. But with a mother like her, she served him. She made it easier for him to die. Halas, you suffer, Angro, and you just go. It's a wholesale. It's a wholesale suffering. You suffered and you finished. You don't care. So she played her role wonderfully nice. Plus, she comes from a realm where she would eat this baby. So she's also trying her best. Being of a demonic nature, living on Earth, planet Earth, she's doing her best. She didn't kill this child on purpose. She didn't eat this child on purpose. She just didn't. She took care of him as much as she could. For her, she's a perfect mom. That is the top of what a demonic nature could take care of the child. So she did her best. And somebody needed her to reach to their best of the results. This life is just completely harmonious. And everybody who is there, it means God wants them and needs them for a reason. And look, she didn't even suffer. She didn't care. So she did a good job for the soul. Plus, she didn't suffer. There was no this extra negativity on earth. There was not extra job for those monks who are praying. She saved those monks also for praying, because I would give them, daily crying for 5 years, probably negativity, and they had to clean after me. She didn't. So everybody is a win-win situation. That is God's plans are the best. So never judge anyone. Never, ever judge anyone. We don't know why. We don't know what is happening in their lives. We don't know anything. We don't know about our life. How can we know anything about anyone else's lives? This is why, my dears, that's all I wanted. I remember to tell you. I wanted to tell you once again. I pray that this knowledge will unpack in your hearts and will be instantly, in a certain dose, implemented in your consciousness, in your life, so that you decrease your fears, you decrease your anger, and you focus more on building, contemplating, creating your reality. And I am again inviting everyone who hasn't still went through the numerology course to join our group in somewhere end of January. I don't know why this time I'm very excited to start another group, even though I was busy with other things, but I really want to start another group. I'm very enthusiastic about it, so I will do it. I decided. So I am inviting everyone to join so that you can really obtain that harmony through knowledge and reach to your material goals in the faster time, so that after that you can really focus on your spiritual part of your life. Thanking you for being here all these 3 parts. In any questions, you can just write on the Telegram channel, and to continue our discussion there. And thank you for allowing me this pleasure of having this again conversation about the topics that are very important to me, and I adore them. Thank you very much, and I wish you happiness.
Thank you, Radha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for you too. We appreciate that.
Thank you.